What's good, YouTube? Mariah Carey is everything you don't want in a woman. Is everything you don't want in a partner. Mariah Carey says she and ex-fiance James Packer didn't have a physical relationship. So I had to click on this because I saw that and I just thought, well, that's a red flag. And obviously the whole thing that happened with Eminem, was hilarious. Like, you can tell a lot about somebody if you read between the lines, but Mariah Carey is one of these divas, and I use the word diva because this is what they used to call them, and this was back in the early 2000s, mid 90s, the early 2000s to even up to 2005. There was this big push of these divas, right? Beyonce, Britney Spears, Kesha, of course maybe she came a little later after 2005. I mean, the list goes on, right? Now we got Taylor Swift and blah, 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 all of them, right? Katy Perry, blah, blah. But these are the women that young women look up to. And I want to be like that. She's so confident. She's such a diva, right? Well, diva, the word diva really is very negative in this context. It's very arrogant. It reminds me of arrogance. It reminds me of greediness. It reminds me of the ego, the worst part about the female ego. And we don't talk a whole lot about the female ego in the red pill community, but Mariah Carey is a good case study of the female ego. Mariah Carey and the female ego. Mariah Carey is everything you don't want in a woman. So she had a relationship with this guy, James Packer. And she said I guess she wrote a book that was like strictly all about her relationships. Red flag. I mean, what is that? Like, women define their lives, a lot of how they define their lives is through their relationships with men, right? It's who they're dating at the time, and that's a great maxim. Women will define their life by who they're dating at the time, because this is female nature. It's to sort of leech off of, and I'd almost use the word usurp, but they feed off of the energy of whatever man they're with. Oh yeah, Jennifer Lopez is in there too. She's a lot like Mariah Carey. You can look at her crappy relationship history as well. And of course they position themselves as sex symbols, and they're selling sex. Yes, they're good singers. I guess objectively they sound good, but if they didn't have talent, they couldn't be in that position. But they're positioning themselves as sex symbols, and this is a big part of being a diva, and this is a big part of their whole, how their ego works, and how they're, from a psychological standpoint, from like somebody who studies psychology, this is part and parcel with narcissism. This is part and parcel of how narcissists sell themselves, how the female narcissist sells herself. She's selling sex. She's using sex as leverage to get what she wants. It's part of her identity, and this is, exactly what it is with Mariah Carey, right? But again, like I said, women define their lives usually by the men that they're dating or men that they're married to or whatever at that particular time in their life. Men provide a lifestyle for them. Men are just a part of their, the way that they see their life, and not in like, oh, I love my man, it's good, he's my man, but it is what it is. It's not like that. More like, what can he do for me? What kind of lifestyle can I have with this man? It's something that you don't want to be involved in when you really understand, when you kind of really understand what I'm saying. So this guy, James Packer, is, now I'm not sure if it talks about how much money he makes, but I'm going to go ahead and say he's rich, because look at that guy's face. He's not very good looking. I mean, she dated someone like Nick Cannon, who's a good looking guy, a dancer, an actor. This guy's, I've never heard of him. He's not a good looking guy. He's probably, a rich man. I didn't do my homework on it. There you go. Australian businessman, right? So he's a businessman. So he's got millions, and women are attracted to men who are successful and who are businessmen. There's something about that is attractive, because women like men who are successful. Women like men who have resources, and a man who is successful, that comes across as confident. And successful men generally do have confidence. But that's attractive to, that in and of itself is attractive to to women. So if you look at this guy, he's a business mogul, so that means he's probably got maybe hundreds of millions, right? I don't know his net worth, haven't Googled it, but look at this guy, right? he's just a success symbol. And this is what I'm talking about when I say women define their life by the men they're with. So if a man is very successful, right, the woman is going to sort of use that as a catalyst to catapult her own life, or just she's choosing him for something that he has that's not that she wants. Someone once said that a lot of times we get into relationships or friendships because somebody has something that we want, and you know, maybe it's that person is very social, maybe that person is very successful, maybe that person is a good talker, maybe that person is confident. They have something that we want. And a lot of times women will get into relationships with men who have something that they want. And it's not necessarily strictly just money. It could be, like I said, it could be social skills, it could be confidence. There's something that they're attracted to in the man that is not just who he is as a person or who he is in his heart, or even his looks or whatever. It's some kind of attribute that he has, right? So this is a good case study because Mariah Carey, I mean, look at this guy. He's obviously objectively not very good looking. Like, he's not ugly, but he's not good looking, right? He's not traditionally good looking, you know, what a man would be, but he's successful. So he's a success symbol. And if you look at her body language, like, she's carrying him around because she herself wants to be successful, right? She herself, I mean, she is successful, and you know, and you could argue and say, well, she's got multi-millions, she doesn't need him. That doesn't mean that she could be, you know, in her business, you know, she might be lacking in her business life. Something in her, you know, she might see something in this guy that she feels could help her in her business life, right? Now, what's the red flag? You know, I can't really say all this unless there's really some evidence. And the evidence is that she says they were not physical. She says they were not sexual. Well, then what are you attracted to him for? If you're in a relationship with the guy and you're not having sex with him, well, you're not attracted to him. So what do you want him for? It's for his success, because he's a businessman. So she might have been worth 80 million. He might have been worth 400 million, right? This is female hypergamy at work. It never ends. You could have millions and millions of dollars. It never ends. Female hypergamy, because it's intrinsic. It's something that's within a woman, right? It never ends. Following the breakup, things turned bitter. In 2017, Packer opened up about their short-lived romance. I was at a low point in my personal life. She was kind, exciting, and fun. Mariah is a woman of substance, but it was a mistake for her and a mistake for me. Yeah, she's really a woman of substance when she chooses you for your success and doesn't have sex with you. That sounds like a woman of substance. No, that sounds like a user and abuser. Look at this. Look at her face. She's like, oh, I don't want to have sex with this guy. He's not attractive, but he's successful. Like, look at her face. Like, look at their body language. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to bang this girl. And she's like, oh, I'm not going to have sex with him, but he's rich and I want to learn from him. Like, come on. It's obvious. In her book, Carey openly discusses her past marriages, including her first husband, Tony Mottola, whom she has called a completely controlling father figure who fostered a prison-like marriage. Well, what does that mean? It means he didn't let me go out and sleep with other people. I chose him for his money because I needed success and I was a nobody, but he didn't let me go out and sleep with other men. That's what that translates to. He was a completely controlling father figure. Well, there you go. She tells on herself. When you know how to read between the lines, you know how to speak womanese. Well, this is what this is. He had money. This is why she married him. But he was controlling because he didn't want her sleeping with other men. Well, yeah. But she called it a prison-like marriage because she couldn't go have sex with other guys. Like, what a horrible woman, right? Carey and Mottola tied the knot in 1993. Again, before she was famous or when she was becoming famous. She didn't have $10 million, $20 million. This Mottola guy probably did. And divorced in 1998 when the two were 23 and 43 at the time. There you go, man. Women choose older men because of success, and they need somebody to sponsor their success, and they need somebody with money to take care of them. This is female nature. And men want young, hot women, and Mariah Carey was young and hot at 23. She later married Nick Cannon in 2008 and divorced in 2016, and the two share 9-year-old twins, Moroccan and Monroe. So Nick Cannon she was very attracted to Nick Cannon. That was probably the purest marriage or relationship that she ever had as far as, you know, human nature is concerned, because we are attracted to attractive people and we want to love attractive people, and this is what Mariah Carey and Nick did. And Nick won't say anything bad about her because Nick is kind of a simp. But you know, we learn who the real Mariah Carey is when we hear Eminem's diss track about her. Let's see. There's no freedom for me as a human being. You mean there's no freedom for you to go sleep around? You might want to picture a child bride. There was a conscious effort to keep me as this all-American, whatever this means, girl. There was no freedom for me as a human being. It was almost like being a prisoner. Read between the lines. She's saying he didn't want me going out and being a slut. There you go. Like, that's what a child bride. Well, yeah, he chose you because he's young, and men are attracted to youth and beauty, and you were young and beautiful, and women are attracted to money, and that's the kind of relationship it was. You were not a prisoner. He just didn't want you to go out and be a slut. That's all. And he paid for you, right? And he said, I am deeply gratitude to have played that role in Mariah's well-deserved and remarkable success. There you go. She used him as a success tool. She used him to catapult her success. This is quintessential female behavior, quintessential hypergamy, quintessential the way women use men for utility. He said in his memoir, he described their relationship as absolutely wrong and inappropriate because she was so young, blah, blah, blah. 23 is not that young, and even if he's 43, it doesn't matter because, again, female nature chooses a man with money and success, and a man by 43 is probably going to have money and some level of money and success. He's not going to be like all the other 23-year-old guys running around that are working at McDonald's or barely even working, and she thinks are losers. Of course she's going to choose a 43-year-old guy. This is female nature. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of all this. Who Mariah Carey really is at heart. She describes herself as high maintenance. You know what? I don't give a shit. I'm fucking high maintenance because I deserve to be at this point. That may sound arrogant. It is arrogant, Mariah, but I hope you frame it within the context of coming from nothing. Oh, because you came from nothing, therefore you can afford to be high maintenance. But the whole crux and leverage you have of being high maintenance is the fact that you're sexy, is the fact that you are a sex symbol, the fact that men want to fuck you. Therefore, you can leverage and utilize your sexiness to get things from men. This is female nature. I'm telling you, man, this is quintessential dumb slut shit. This is quintessential everything you don't want in a woman. Mariah Carey is everything you don't want in a woman. This is female nature. This is bad. You know, female nature at its worst, right? But it's bottom line female nature. Women use sex as leverage to get what they want from men. Resources, marriage, whatever. If I can't be high maintenance after working my ass off my entire life, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize we all had to be low maintenance. How'd you work your ass off? I mean, you're a singer. That's a natural talent. I mean, yes, you went out, or you went into the studio and you made records and you went on tour and you said, yes, that's working. But is that really like the same as working a 9-to-5 job that you don't like? Singing, you love singing, everybody loves singing, and that's what you get to do. It's like, did you really pay your dues, or did you just get lucky in the fact that you were born sexy and the fact that you got a nice voice and you leveraged that, you know, just like Rihanna, just like Britney Spears, and you probably slept with music executives, you slept your way to the top, you know, like Aaliyah did with R. Kelly, and there's, you know, like I said, rumors that Rihanna did that as well. This is what women do in the industry. They have sex with music producers and guys who are in the music industry in order to get where they want. And then these guys pimp them to the world and make them sexy and all this stuff. And it's all bad when you look at it from that perspective. Yes, Mariah, being high maintenance and a diva is arrogant. It's bad female nature. It's your ego in a negative way. It's narcissism. I was always high maintenance. It's just I didn't have anyone to do the maintenance when I was growing up. There you go. That sums it all up right there. That just proves everything I said is true. She needed a man to get her to get where she is now. She needed a man for success. She needed a man to help her become successful, and her marriages proved that. This is female nature. This is what women do. They use men to get the lifestyle that they want, and whether that's a long-term marriage or whatever. This is how women view men. They view men as utility, and this is the perfect case study for this. Mariah Carey is a perfect case study of female nature. Now, bad female nature, we would like females to not be like this. I don't want you to look at me as a utility. I don't want you to look at me as a means to an end if you date me or not. I don't want you to sum me up based on how much money I make or what I can do for you or what kind of lifestyle I can give for you. That's exactly what I don't want in a woman. I want to be loved for who I really am, just like you want to be loved for who you really are, and not just your boobs and not just your ass. But yet women use their boobs and their ass to get what they want from men. And you could argue, and it's true, that men use money and resources to get what they want from women. Everybody's using each other. And this is why divorce is over 50%. This is why people cheat on each other. This is why Mariah Carey has never found real love. This is why Mariah Carey's been through like 10 guys, long-term relationships, and who knows how many flings and guys she's hooked up with, right? Hundreds, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, hundreds, 80, 90, 100, like probably. In 20 years of going through 5 marriages or however many times she's married, I mean, come on, this is not a quality woman, right? Everybody's using each other. Everybody's sleeping around. It's like, this is a mess. So how could women say, oh, I want to be loved for who I really am, when they are looking for a guy with resources, looking for a guy to get them to where they want to be as far as a lifestyle is concerned? It's not right. It's not fair. It's not real. It's a joke. It's a lie. This is why the red pill exists. This is why men don't want to settle down. This is why men don't want to get married. I was always high maintenance. It's just I didn't have anyone to do the maintenance when I was growing up. You didn't have a successful benefactor, a man to pay you for being hot, to pay you to have sex with you, because you were too young. And then once you hit 23, you found your guy. You married Mr. Matola or whatever, and then you got your way into the music industry, and he said he helped your career, and this is what it is. This is what happened with Aaliyah and R. Kelly. This is what happened with Rihanna and whoever she messed around with. This is how women get into the industry. They sleep their way to the top, and they have to have talent, yes, at the same time, and that's the difference. The reason why you're successful is ultimately because you have talent, but you wouldn't have got to where you were at if you didn't sleep your way there, if you didn't pay your dues as far as marrying the rich guy, marrying this guy, marrying that. Like, this is what they do. And so it's the same in real life. It's just not every woman. I mean, this is female nature to a T. This is a case study of female nature. This is female nature 101, right? It's just not every woman out there has the success, super multi-millionaire to get them to where they want to go. They have to settle for the guy who just has a nice steady job. He's got a house, he's got a mortgage. Okay, that's good enough. I'll take that, because I know he's going to give me a lifestyle that I can't get really from anyone else, because I've tried and it hasn't worked. I'm not good looking enough to leverage myself to live on the lake or in a mansion or a guy who's got millions of dollars, but I can get this guy who makes $60K a year, and he's got a steady house and a mortgage, and he's very docile and he's very predictable and steady. Okay, I'll take this guy, right? But this is female nature. It's just, it varies between women, and it varies based on how hot a woman is and how much she can leverage what she has. And it's sad, and this is a crux of a lot of the stuff that I talk about on my Red Pill channel and all this kind of stuff, is that this is what female nature really is. So I'm going to leave it there. This is people.com. You can go read it yourself. I think people.com. Mariah Carey says she and ex-fiance James Packer didn't have a physical relationship. So she's dating multimillionaires, and she doesn't want to give up the pussy. She doesn't want to give up the ass. She doesn't want to have sex with these guys. She's just dating them. But she'll gladly have sex with Nick Cannon and procreate with Nick Cannon because he's hot and he's in shape. And it's just, this is female narcissism. This is female shallowness. But yet they don't want to be objectified. They don't want guys to reject them because they're fat or because they're not that good looking, right? It's just classic double standards. And women are not exempt, right? Women claim that men oppress them, men only want sex, blah, blah, blah. Like, this proves that all that is bullshit. It blows all that out of the water. Women use sex. This is why women are mad that men want sex. They're not mad that men want sex. They're mad that men want sex. And the men that want to have sex with them aren't rich. They're mad that they can't get anything out of having sex with a guy, right? But in this case, you would argue, oh, Mariah Carey didn't have sex with him. Well, because he's not attractive. But yet she wants to use him for his business savvy. She wants to understand how she can become a $400 million girl as opposed to just a $60 million girl, however much she's worth. So she wants to make more. There's something about him. I mean, success. Women are attracted to success. He's not hot. He's just a success. He's a successful person, and he's a success magnet, or he's a slut magnet, right? He's a gold digger magnet, and she's looking at him like, oh, he's successful. He radiates success, and he drives he drives in a jet and all this kind of stuff, and like she probably does too, but maybe her jet is as nice as his jet or whatever. Like, this is hypergamy. She's not dating down. Like, she dated down with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon helped Nick Cannon be successful, but that's because Nick Cannon was hot, so she did that. She took her time, and she was very attracted to Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was a smooth talker. She liked his lips, she liked his eyes, whatever. And so she'll date Nick Cannon, have kids with Nick Cannon, or marry Nick Cannon even, and he makes less than her. So women will only date down financially if the guy is hot. If he's hot enough, she'll date down. If he's a bad boy enough, she's attracted to him physically enough, she will date down financially. But if not, she's always dating up. That's female nature. Anyway, appreciate you guys listening. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.